Today we'll be testing my new Alibaba stainless steel foam cannon I just received this week. I paid $20 for it plus roughly $10 in shipping, so it came out to $30 for the unit. We'll be comparing it to the Raincovo, ADS Drift, and then the MJJC Pro V2 foam cannon. To keep everything consistent, we're going to be using the same 1.25 orifice between all four of them. I only have one because I don't use orifices that size for my pressure washer. All the foam cannons have the original mesh filters they came with, and we will be using a little Yum foam, a little mint, and then a little Mr. Pink for comparison. For today's foam cannon testing, we'll be using my pressure washer that I built. This unit is normally set up to run 3.2 gallons per minute at 1500 psi at the foam cannon. While I realize most people don't have a pressure washer that has this output, so I have adjusted the unloader valve. I have reset the unit to deliver 1.98 gallons per minute at roughly around 1250 psi at the foam cannon. So let's get to testing. First up will be the MJJC with Yum foam at 10-1. Next up is the ADS Drift, also with Yum foam at 10-1. Next up is the Raincovo with the Yum foam. And last with the Yum foam is my Alibaba stainless steel foam cannon. Now this vehicle has no protection on it at all, no wax, no sealants, no coatings, nothing, so. Let's rinse her off, and then we will do either Mr. Pink or mint next. I'll get the next soap mixed up. We'll be right back. So next up will be mint in the MJJC, mixed at 20-1. Next is the drift foam cannon with mint 20-1. Next is the Raincovo with the mint at 20-1. I left the soap in the MJJC bottle. And last up is the Alibaba special mint 20-1 in the MJJC bottle, so I didn't have to change it. And let's rinse her off. We'll dry her off, and then we'll do a little Mr. Pink for last. Next up is the MJJC with the Walmart special Mr. Pink. I think I paid $3 for the bottle. Bought it for just testing. So this is also at 20 to 1. Up next, the ADS Drift with the Mr. Pink. Up next, the Raincovo with the Mr. Pink. And last up is the Alibaba stainless steel cannon. Okay, we're gonna rinse it off. If you pay attention to the spray pattern on the nozzle, this is a new nozzle I'm trying. It's an oscillating nozzle I'm using for rinsing after pre-washes. You can kind of hear the sound it makes too. Last test I'm going to do, I put the MJJC 3-piece filter system into my Alibaba special. See if that does any difference. So we're going to start out with what I had left in the Yum foam. Not much Yum foam left, but I'll rinse this off and we'll do the little bit of mint we have left next. Next is the mint, still a 20-to-1, and the Alibaba foam cannon with the MJJC 3-piece filter system. Let's see if we can do the whole car what we have left, because can't have just one clean side. Almost made it around. turn my pressure washer back up to full for the final rinse. With the pressure washer turned all the way up, I'm rinsing at 3.4 gallons per minute at about 1250 psi, so it makes pretty quick work of rinsing out. Well, that concludes the foaming testing of this unit. I think it foams as well as the MJJC, the ADS Drift, and the Raincovo. Next, the question is, though, what about build quality? How does it stand up to the other units? Is this thing actually 100% stainless steel? Does it have aluminum, brass, or some other components in there? We'll test that next. Well, I did say I was going to do a breakdown of the foam cannons, basically to compare the build quality of the components used to build them. So I've broken them all down into their individual parts. We have our Alibaba foam cannon, our Raincovo, our ADS Drift, and the MJJC Pro V2. We'll be comparing the Alibaba to those three. We'll also verify that all the parts are stainless steel. They did list it as 304 stainless on the web page, so we'll verify that. We'll also do some weighing of some of the parts between the two, just to compare. If these are all stainless steel, they should weigh as much as, if not a little bit more than some of the brass components in the other cannons. If it's aluminum alloy, they would be a lot lighter than those parts. I also do have a magnet for testing. 304 should be non-magnetic, so the magnet should not stick to them. For doing the measurements, I do have my archery scale that I use for building arrows. We'll be measuring the components in grams. Just get an idea of the weight of the components, just to give a comparison. So let's get started. First, we'll take the magnet. So let's start out with the magnet test on the parts on the Alibaba. I do have a steel spacer here, just to confirm it's a magnet. We'll do the aeration chamber, does not stick. The mixing chamber does not stick. We have the parts that hold the lid to the manifold. There again, they do not stick. And we have the parts that make up the valve for adjusting your dilution, to break the vacuum to let air into the system. So those are all non-magnetic. Does not stick, so it appears that all the parts are stainless. I do know the pin for the nozzle does stick. It may be a different grade of stainless steel. And I also know the washer does stick pretty good, so this may be a steel or a different alloy of stainless. Time will tell if it rusts after using it for a while. And also the weighted ball that it came with is also non-magnetic. Just to give you an idea, the pin that comes with the MJJC, that is also magnetic, and it does stick to the magnet. So it does appear that all the main components for the unit are actually stainless steel as advertised. Let's take a look at some of the weights between the components. So we'll start with the mixing chamber for the MJJC. This is where the soap solution gets drawn up from the bottle, and we'll weigh that one first. And that is showing 101 grams. Then we have the mixing chamber for the ADS. That is showing at 105.9. We have the mixing chamber for the Raincovo, showing at 101. And then the mixing chamber for the Alibaba stainless steel foam cannon. And that is showing at 116 grams. So it does appear that it is not an alloy. It is actually a stainless steel. Let's take a couple other components. We'll do the aeration chamber. So the MJJC, 92 grams. The ADS is going to be a little bit different because it's actually a multi-piece chamber. We have the first part, which is brass, which is 42, and they also have the plastic piece, the taper where the aeration takes place, so where everything comes through. So you put both of those together, 48 grams for those parts. The aeration area for the Raincovo, 78. Then we have the Raincovo stainless steel. Weighs in at 111 grams for those parts. So it seems that the stainless steel foam cannon from Alibaba seems to use a lot of metal in it, fairly heavy, should make it last quite a while. Brass will probably last just as long for the occasional user. Let's compare some of the other components. Let's say the adjustment valve, basically two pieces. You got your needle, then the thread. So this is the Alibaba, 17 grams. The Raincovo, which is brass, roughly 20 grams. Then we have the unit for the ADS. This one's going to be a little more because it has the ring around there where the indexing goes to give you the click, so it's going to weigh more just because of that material, 64 grams. And then we have the valve for the MJJC, weighs at 20 grams. So I believe the Alibaba is honest as far as the components. They are all stainless steel. They are fairly thick and heavy compared to some of the others. So it's not a thin machining. They all do look like it is all machined stainless steel. So the quality of the components is good. The machining on them is very good. So that kind of gives you an idea of the build quality. let's take a look at the caps, or the lids. We have the, let me move this. We have the ever tried and true MJJC. You can see they actually use a brass insert that the bottle bolt screws to hold it to the manifold. Thicker, stronger plastic, very well made. And you also have the vent holes to keep it from leaking. If we compare that to the ADS, pretty much the same thing. Brass insert, also has the vents to keep it from leaking if tipped over. Now the one weakness of the Raincovo is its lid. I am actually on my, this will be the second lid I've replaced. I stopped buying them. You can see where this has started to crack on the top. I've actually found a new lid that I've replaced it with. I found this on Alibaba. I tried to find more, but I have not seen it listed since I purchased these. These are a little bit thicker, not as stiff or brittle as a plastic. And this one you can also see has a vent cap or a vent in it to keep it from leaking if it tips over. These ones have been extremely durable compared to the original Raincovo. Now the Alibaba foam cannon kit lid, I would say it's not as thick as the MJJC. It is a little bit more flexible. It's not as hard and as brittle as what the Raincovo would be. So I don't think you'll have the issues with it cracking. Just like the Raincovo, this one is held on with a two-piece bolt system. Kind of give you an idea. So we have two pieces here for that. This goes in. And basically, she's a little snug in there, but it's a multi-piece system to hold the lid to the bottle bolt. So pros or cons, I think the MJJC and the ADS a little bit better. I've never had one of those crack or split or anything like that. Time will tell with this one. My last Raincovo lid, this one lasted about 3 months before it started cracking. The original one probably went about 6 months before it started cracking. So if there's one thing Raincovo needs to prove upon is the lids for their caps. The lid for the Alibaba is also dual threaded. So if you want to use smaller bottles and you want to do metering or anything, you can also do that with the Alibaba. So final thoughts on the Alibaba foam cannon. I think it's a good quality cannon, especially consider I paid $30 for a fully stainless steel foam cannon. It comes with a good stiff bottle. It actually comes with 2 bottles. It comes also with a smaller bottle. If you want to use metering tips, you can modify the foam cannon. That's what I do. None of my foam cannons do I mix anything. I do metering tips in all my foam cannons. So I just run my product straight in my bottles. I don't worry about mixing and diluting anything anymore. So I think it's an excellent foam cannon for the price. $30 for the $30 included shipping, import fees. There's also a discount because I signed up as a new account, so I got like a $20 discount on the unit with shipping and the shipping through Alibaba. So I think it's an excellent unit. It foamed just as well as my MJJC, the ADS, and the Raincovo. So I may be buying a couple more, and I may be replacing my Raincovos. And even maybe my MJJC for that unit. So that's my opinion on it. If anybody has any questions, just let me know.